What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? A 12-year-old Ohio boy has gained international attention after a low-down rotten neighbor called the police on him for cutting grass. Maple Heights resident Lucille Holt had employed 12-year-old Reginald Fields, who owns Mr. Reggie's lawn cutting service, to mow her lawn on Saturday. Reginald's cousins often help him work, and one of the neighbors called the police on them after the group of kids accidentally cut part of their grass. They called the police to tell the police that the kids was cutting their grass, Holt said. Who does that? The patch of grass the neighbors were apparently referring to sits between Holt's home and theirs. There's no fence there to mark where the property begins and ends. The video shows a police car parked across the street from Holt's home and two neighbors sweeping grass debris off their driveway. Holt said that in the past, the same neighbor has called the police on her, once for her kids throwing snowballs at one another. What a low-down, dirty, stank neighbor. A trifling, despicable human being. What a lowlife. Calling the laws on a 12-year-old kid for working, cutting grass. Wow. Let me say this, y'all. Cutting grass has been a business that has existed since you've had summer vacations and borrowed lawnmowers. I myself used to cut grass. I used to do the same thing that this young man is doing. Going around, knocking on doors, ringing doorbells, asking people, can I cut your grass for a small fee? All over the United States, you have kids that cut grass for the summer and on weekends. We're the ones who are the little entrepreneurs who are willing to endure the hot sun on our neighbor's behalf to mow through high grass for a small fee. What in the hell is wrong with people? It's like some of these adults, they have a shitty life, and it's like they're jealous of the kids. Now, we know this has a racial component. It's not just an adult. This has a racial component to it. And you better believe she called the police because those little kids were black. And she didn't like the idea of little black kids doing anything really to earn a living, anything other than committing some type of crime and going to jail. She probably wanted them to get shot down. That's what this is all about. I ain't no getting around this. We know how this go, man. We just seen it happen too much. And you better believe she was conscious of what she was doing. What happened to an adult having the decency, the courage to approach a little kid and say, hey, you know you're cutting my grass too. You're moving too far into my lane. This is my property line. What happened there? It ain't like if she would have stepped out and told a little kid to not cut on her side, that the kid was not going to cut on her side. Nobody wants to cut extra grass. I can tell you that much. So she could have easily took her skank ass out there and talked to the little kid and said, hey, that's my grass. Stay off my grass. Stay off my side. This is my property line right here. And the kid would have done it. But no. She wanted to call the police on the kid and put the police in his life to inject fear and possibly get him arrested or even shot, because we know that there are a lot of dirty, low-down, rotten cops out there who would love to shoot a little black boy. Now that's the truth. Don't give me that shit about why everything always has to be race. Y'all make it about race. That's cold-blooded, man. They should be glad that these kids are off the streets and working to earn a decent living instead of out there doing God knows what. They could have been doing any number of things. They could be out there ripping and running the streets, stealing, robbing, just hanging out, lottering. They could be doing anything. But they were doing something that's honorable. They were working. They wasn't sitting around begging, standing on the street corner like some adults actually do. They were out there working. The man got his own lawn service at 12 years old. There are adult people who are in their 50s and 60s who have never owned their own business. Come on, man, get a kid a break. Reginald didn't realize that he was cutting the grass on the neighbor's side until the police came. So this kid was totally oblivious to what was going on. And the youngest kid that was out there was 9 years old. They said the little kid was scared to death. They said when the police showed up, Reggie kept mowing the lawn because he knew he hadn't done anything wrong. But the little kid was afraid, because, hey, all over the internet, all over the news, all in the newspaper, every day, you see police gunning down young black males. So this fear that these little kids have, or that little kid had, was not unwarranted. Now, since this kid had the law sicked on him by some stank neighbor, his business has actually improved. A lot of people have been contacting the woman who originally posted the video about the situation, and she said that her inbox has been inundated with people requesting to contact this guy. They want her to put them in contact with the little kid so they can hire him also. So his business is actually improved. So her move to try to damage him and to destroy him has actually backfired, and some good has actually came out of this. Little cat is getting even more business, and somebody bought him a new lawnmower and an edger also. So that was real cool. So big ups to, first of all, the lady who first posted it, Miss Holt, big ups to her. But also big ups to the cop who never approached the kids. He didn't approach him, he didn't talk to him or anything. He never came in contact with the kids. Big ups to him. Because that's how cops need to respond to kids. They don't need to be trying to instill fear in the kids and making these kids' life miserable. Having these kids throwing up and all this here kind of stuff like they did with the kid who was at the movie theater when the police came to and accosted his mom and dad. It's crazy, man. So big ups to that cop, man. He got it right. I wish I knew what his name was so I could salute him. But anyway, man, leave these kids alone and get a life, you low life. Whoever that neighbor is, whatever your name is, I hope like hell you watch this video. Anybody that know that clown, please send her a copy of this. Send her the link, something. Please let her see this, because she needs to know. Her mama should be embarrassed and her daddy should have pulled out. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?